What's good, bro? Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing good. ABC, shout out, brother. Doing pretty good, man. I hope you're doing well as well. How do I sound, by the way? Audio good?
Audio's good, dude. Yeah. Um, you should do some more Danhausen impersonations, dude. I think that clip that we put out earlier this morning of you doing Danhausen, I think it's gonna do pretty good.
I haven't seen it since the first time I looked at it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun. Hey, for someone who doesn't like Danhausen as much as most people, you do a pretty good Danhausen.
Well, that's the thing. Like his voice isn't hard to imitate, and and look, Danhausen's entertaining. It's just not the type of entertainment I'm looking for in my pro wrestling.
Yeah, you made that very clear in our predictions episode last night.
I was waiting
Which
for that rant. I was waiting for you to post that rant, and it never came up. So
I feel like we've had a few of those already, and it never ends well, man. You get a lot of people upset, so I'm like,
good. Good. It
yeah,
gets them talking. It gets them talking. And what's the old saying? All press is good press. So hey,
yeah, I
look, if
guess.
people are gonna hate me for my opinions, that's their problem. I got it off my chest, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are so negative all the time." Like I had one the other day that was like, "Do you guys even like wrestling, bro?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
"No,
do,
we
but
don't like it. We love it, motherfucker."
yeah, just because I enjoy something doesn't mean I can't criticize it. I don't know what's up with this absolutist fucking generation of something has to be either the best thing ever or it's automatically the worst thing ever. Like, no, I have opinions. Like,
Yeah.
I thought this is great, this is good, this was fine, this was shit, this was really bad, this was abysmal. It's a fucking like spectrum of of emotion for shit. Like people are just like right now, the whole Odyssey thing. Elliot Page is transgender and she's in the Odyssey, so this movie's gonna be the worst thing ever. I'm like, Christopher fucking Nolan, bro. What the hell are you talking about? This movie's gonna be peak as fuck. I don't know. It's Christopher Nolan. His worst movie is Tenet, and it's still a banger. Like,
Yeah, I don't
like
know. You
they
lost
harken
me
in
on
on
that
one.
one.
Well, like it's just the way of this
Yeah,
generation. Like they hone in on one thing they don't like about something,
yeah,
and because they don't like one thing out of this entire, it's like a whole pie. This one piece of pie wasn't cut exactly as the rest of the pie, so the whole pie is the worst pie ever. Like I just hate
yeah.
this absolutist mentality.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
remember what video we put out recently that it was like the whole video was actually positive, right? And
yeah.
they always find something like, oh, it's like never good enough. Even when you try to say something good, they always find
Oh, then they
something like,
criticize us for not glazing more. Like,
yeah,
that's
something
what I'm
like that.
talking about. The absolutist. We'll do a video that's positive, and they go, "Man, like you guys just love kissing WWE's ass." I'm like, we said something positive last time. We talked about something we thought was a negative, and then you said that all we do is just hate. Like, it's absolutely the worst or absolutely the best. Like, it's like that you're not allowed to have individual opinion in between this side and this side.
Yeah.
They hate it when you have individual ideas. Like on anything, and not just wrestling, on anything. Acting, movies, video games, how they feel about celebrities, like
Yeah.
all these parasocial relationships affect the way that people are with the things they like pro wrestling. And with pro wrestling, wrestling fans are some of the worst fandom in sports and entertainment. Like genuinely, they are so fucking. We are so fucking fickle. Like one moment you love Jey Uso, you begging for him to get the push of a lifetime. He's champion for 3 weeks. He's the worst wrestler ever. He's this. He's now the most disliked superstar on YouTube. Cody Rhodes, everybody watched for 2 years, begged for him to chase the champion, hoped he would win it. 2 weeks into his run, it's the worst run ever. It's always about Cody Rhodes, Cody Hogan. It's like, you can't win. So fuck him if I piss him off. If I piss him off, good. Cry me a fucking river.
Yeah. Well, yeah, predictions were fun yesterday. That's out now for Saturday night's main event. We talked about Danhausen. We talked about the whole Jalen Brunson thing, and we made our predictions not just the winners of the matches, but also like who we think is gonna show up because we have an NBA player And one of the things that came up during our predictions was, what's the point of this, right? And there was one thing that I forgot to mention when we were doing the predictions, because Saturday night's main event, it kind of feels like it's leading towards SummerSlam, right? Right now, we want to talk about potential celebrities that might show up in SummerSlam. Because SummerSlam tickets are reportedly so low right now, there's rumors that Pat McAfee might show up at SummerSlam because it is in Indianapolis, right? SummerSlam,
SummerSlam's in Minnesota, I believe.
Indianapolis, Minnesota, right? Or it's
Yeah,
Minnesota
I guess.
City.
I've never fucking been there. I don't know. It's probably Indianapolis, Minnesota. I don't even know. I guess Indianapolis is in Minnesota.
I think
don't
it
know.
is. I think it is. And if that's the case, that's where Pat McAfee's from, if I'm not mistaken, because he used to play for the Colts, which I believe is also from that same city. So, yeah, SummerSlam ticket sales have been struggling, and they're going to try to do the Pat McAfee thing again. And I just wanted to hear what you thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know where fucking Indianapolis is. Look, I used to be a cross country mover. I've been to 39 of all 50 states, and Minnesota wasn't one of them. So, like, if I ain't been in the state, I don't know shit about the state. Like, where's Saskatchewan? You know, like, I don't fucking know. Isn't that a type of Asian chicken or beef? No, that's Szechuan. Oh. But when it comes to Pat McAfee, they're automatically, Indianapolis is in Indiana. Shout out to Josie James. Thank you. Look, I was
Indianapolis and Minneapolis, big difference.
Minneapolis. Look, I'm really good at geography. You wouldn't know this by looking at me, but I have a 4.1 weighted GPA. But again, if I don't go there, why the fuck would I care? I couldn't name you a single place in South or North Dakota. The point is like, we already did the McAfee thing at Mania, right? And the whole point of him, like, being in Randy's corner was, if Randy loses, you'll never see my face in this business again. It's been 3.5 months. So but leave it to WWE to go back on anything and everything if they think that they can make the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
That's my thought. It's all about the money, if it turns out to be true.
Yeah, speaking of money, I got some numbers for you because, there's been reports that SummerSlam has been really struggling in ticket sales for this being a 2-night event and this being like a full-on fucking stadium that they're doing this event in. I believe the stadium fits like around more than 60,000 people. And for each night, WWE is reportedly they're at like 23,000 tickets each night. So that's less than half of the stadium capacity.
I mean, they're going to have to really do something to give people a reason to buy. The biggest thing that we've dealt with this year, in the news with wrestling that isn't storyline, is the price gouging of WWE, and more specifically TKO, their parent company, forcing them to do these pricing. Like when Vince was in charge, Vince answered to Vince, right? So Vince priced for families, but TKO is it's a full-blown corporation. This ain't no mom and pop place no more. This is, we're here to make money and we're here to bail out the UFC as often as possible. And when it came down to it, TKO, like Ari Emanuel, that other fucking guy that's one of their corporate fucking stooges, has gone on the record saying we're trying to maximize profits. We're trying to save on payroll. We're trying to increase it. They've been producing record-breaking revenue quarter on quarter for 6.5 years since the beginning of COVID. They have literally made more money in the last 6 years than they have ever made in any other physical year in the 65 years this company has existed. And when it comes down to it, it's like it's a catch-22, right? You want to make money, but you also need people that are willing to pay that money to be there. We're in the middle of a recession. We're in the middle of price hikes galore, tariff this, that. The last year and a half of money has genuinely fucked the wrestling fan or the sport fan, because who can afford these astronomical prices? Okay, they're so expensive to go see in live in person that even professional wrestlers in their own company like Randy Orton have been on camera saying that they are embarrassed to fans who have told them, I paid this much money to be here this weekend and see you. And Randy was embarrassed. He told him, he goes, oh, that's embarrassing. They should never be that high. I'm sorry you apologizing to a fan for having to pay like 40 fucking grand to enjoy WrestleMania. It's absurd. So for me, they're going to have to do something really crazy in the Punk and Cody shit, or they're going to have to do something really crazy in the Seth Roman stuff. They did Hell in a Cell for Oba and Brock, probably hoping that stipulation would move tickets. And it might have, but we got, 2 weeks left? Like, they genuinely are going to have to really pull out some big surprise. Pat McAfee being there is not going to make money. He's not a Pat. Look, I like Pat. I like him, especially as a commentator. He's not a draw in WWE. He's entertaining as hell, but he's not a draw. Like, you might as well dust The Rock off and have him stop by now that Moana 2 is a box office bomb. You know, it's been out for a week. It's made $107 million. You know, like, they were thinking to be $1 billion. Like, usually what The Rock does, has a massive failure, needs to rehabilitate his image, back to WWE. So maybe get The Rock there. Maybe pull some other legend. Maybe have a surprise return or announce a return ahead of time. But they're going to have to do something, other than, the simplest thing they could do, which is just lower the fucking ticket prices. Lower the prices. Cut them by 50% and fill that arena. It's that simple.
Well, I guess the WWE tried to do like a 25% discount recently, but it didn't really do a whole lot for them. They sold some tickets, but not a big difference. But I want to bring up this clip that I saw. Jeff Jarrett actually said something really interesting, I thought, that has to do with some of the things that you mentioned as far as like, WWE's like overpricing and eye gouging on their ticket sales and stuff like that. And I think this is kind of related because Jeff Jarrett points out the fact that, well, now, the owners of WWE, which is, who is it? Ariel,
TKO. Ari Emanuel's not an owner. I think he's the president of TKO.
So I guess now the difference is, him having to answer to like Wall Street and like the fucking, the stocks. The shareholders.
Because it's a publicly traded company now.
Yeah, so Jeff Jarrett said some crazy shit about that with Ariel Helwani, and I'll see if we can hear it real quick. I'm going to play it for you and tell me if you can hear it.
For AEW and Tony Khan, and there was so much, there was so much tumultuous stuff happening in TNA back in the day. What's the difference, if any?
Who does Tony answer to?
I had a feeling you would say that. That's it, right?
He answers to himself.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm very curious about is that going back to Tony answers to Tony. Vince used to answer to Vince. Even when he went public, he still controlled the stock. Ari doesn't really answer to Ari. Ari answers to Wall Street. How long? How sustainable is that going to be?
Could you imagine the stress that Paul Levesque is under? Like,
yeah, I saw this a couple days ago. Yeah. My thing is, Jarrett brings up a good point, and Jeff Jarrett knows a little bit about this. Jarrett was the one who founded TNA. It was his company, until he sold. But like at the end of the day, shout out to Big Daddy P in the comments. What's up, Blood? What's up, Big Daddy P? And shout out to Josie James being such a great commenter. And thank you so much for listening with us. Make sure you guys spam that screen, double tap that screen, and get this shared out to more people. The more hearts, the more people get to get in on this conversation. But Jeff makes a great point. Vince answered to Vince, and Tony answers to Tony. But here's the problem with that, because it's good and bad. It's great to be the one guy in charge making the decisions until you're making the show for what you want the show to be and not for what the fans want it to be. One of the biggest criticisms of Vince's booking, especially toward the end of his stint, was that Vince was only making the show for his entertainment. Everybody would say Vince writes the show for an audience of one. You have to, if you want to get on, how many people have said, if you really want to get over in this company, you better be funny and be willing to do comedy, because that's what Vince likes. He wants you to make him laugh. He cares about him being entertained, not the fan. When it comes to Tony Khan, when Tony Khan started AEW, he tried to be everybody's fucking friend. He wanted to be a buddy, not a boss. Look what happened between the Elite and CM Punk, because he wanted to be one of the boys instead of the man in charge. There is a problem when you only answer to yourself. Answering to yourself means there's no oversight. There's no one to rein you in and check you at the door. And then other problems happen. I don't blame Ari Emanuel for being the president of the company. He answers to Wall Street. That's a good and bad thing. Because though he himself is not the final guy to make these decisions, there's at least the intelligence of, well, fuck, there's a stock market investment in this company, and we do enough of the wrong things that stock plummets. There's an immediate fucking, like, next day impact on the business that is visible to the world, and you can't hide it, and it's humiliating. You know, when it comes to, like, when Vince was in charge and when with Tony Khan being in charge, they can just do what they always did. They can do what Vince always did, lie. And pretend that business is always booming and business is always great. And because that's the only narrative that anybody can go off of, the narrative that Vince is spouting, people stay positive about the company because that's all they hear is positive shit about the company. That's why now fans, you know, in this day and age where everybody's got a smartphone, everybody's an internet, you know, mark or a genius on everything because they can ask ChatGPT to make them a genius on it, is that people see the downward trend of the company. They see when the company's going through pitfalls. They hear all this stuff in the wrestling news about the price gouging and the money and this and that. And they go, they automatically inform to a decision that, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Remember when I said earlier at the start of this show where I said this day and age is all about absolutism. It's either absolutely the worst thing ever or it's absolutely the best. This generation doesn't understand that there is gray area, so many shades of gray area in between worst and best. They think, oh, well, ticket sales are down. Oh, that's because WWE's the worst company ever. Oh, they think AEW's tickets are up. Oh, it's the best company ever. But then the moment that you see empty seats on AEW, oh, it's the worst wrestling company ever. But it's not, though. Companies have peaks and valleys. Companies also experiment with their business model to see what can work if they push the envelope here, or here. Hey, how much could we make? How high could we raise the tickets to see how much money we can make? Oh, that's the ceiling that you guys don't like. Maybe we should back off because it's costing us business. So like they have to experiment to see, is there a way to maximize profit? I don't blame a corporation for trying to be a corporation. That's what it is. It's a corporation. What I don't like is knowing that there is an in-your-face response by the fans to lower the prices. You have someone like Pat McAfee going on live TV telling you to lower the prices. Cody Rhodes going live on TV before Mania and calling out TKO for price hiking and telling you to lower them. Like, you are so aware of the problem that your fans present to you, but you do nothing to change it. Now I have an issue. Now it's not for me about absolutism. Oh, it's the worst thing ever. Oh, it's the best thing ever. And there's no gray area. No. Now that I have seen you literally write a promo for Cody to go out there and call your company out for price gouging and stuff, now there is no excuse because you just told me you're extremely aware of the problem. You just had one of your biggest stars go out there and tell us that he knows there's a problem. So now I go, well, don't cry to me if you don't sell more than $23,000 or 23,000 tickets a night. You know what the issue is. You've addressed it. You could just cut the prices. You know, so despite what, you know, anybody says about, you know, who answers to who, you're all presently aware that there's an issue with your bottom line and that you're pricing out the real diehard fan in favor of the casual fan who's willing to splurge on these fucking tickets. But you keep this business model for the next 10 years, it's not sustainable. Eventually, casual fans, they get tired of the fad. But your diehard fans, they stick around forever. And to me, I just think if you slash the ticket prices now, you might still sell out SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Jarrett, he brings up a really good points in that interview, but also, like, he does work for AEW, so it's like he's going to, say, well, I like AEW's way of doing things better, because WWE is writing the show for TKO as opposed to Tony Khan is writing the show for,
Yes.
himself and his fans, and he's putting on great shows according to Jeff Jarrett, right? So,
Yes. Well,
that's
again,
the big
there's a bias there because Jeff, I give Jeff a little bit of leeway. Shout out to ABC's in the comments. Is that 23 grand divided on both nights? Isn't it already? No. So 23,000 tickets sold per night, not money, tickets sold. I misspoke and I apologize. But with Jeff Jarrett, Jeff himself, I give him a little bit of grace, even though there's bias here, because Jeff has owned, ran, and created his own professional wrestling promotion where he has answered to sponsors. He has answered to network executives. He has experience. So in my opinion, he has every right to speak on this. That being said, he does work for WWE's direct competition in the Western world. And so I also have to look at what he's saying as, well, take it with a slight pinch of salt because you're working for the competition. So yes, you're going to put some praise on Tony.
So just to add some more, I guess, exact numbers. So reportedly, as of right now, for night one, 22,780 tickets sold for night one. That's August 1st. Night two, August 2nd, approximately 22,364 tickets distributed for night two, and which is odd because this seats like close to 70,000 people, but I guess the setup was originally made for around like half of that, like around 30, let me see. Yeah, like around 40,000 people, I believe the setup was made for. And I guess if they sold more tickets, then they would expand it. But I mean, they're claiming that the setup was not intentionally supposed to be to sell out the arena. I don't think they were expecting to sell out 60,000 plus each night. I mean, that's a little crazy.
I mean, it will depend because a lot of people do also buy 2-night tickets and 2-night packages. Like, why the fuck would you only buy to one night? Maybe you're more enticed by a specific card on one night than the other. But if it's me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to SummerSlam, I'm going to both nights of SummerSlam. So if I can afford it, like, why would I go for one night but not the final night? I flew into the town for this, But let's just say hypothetically they've done the floor arrangement and the seating and the setup for the purposes of only 40,000 people per night. Still a lot of fucking people. And even then, WWE is going to say, oh, we had a full weekend attendance of 80,000. They'll inflate it. And even though if all 40,000 on night one came the same second night, it's really only 40,000 people, not 80. Yeah. And then two, on top of that, they're going to factor every motherfucking living, breathing soul in the building. The guy who's selling hot dogs and t-shirts counts as one person, or because he runs two different vendor stands, they're going to count him as two people. Yeah. Just how WWE does it. It's carny shit. It'll always be carny shit. But that being said, look, if they're at around 22 to 23,000 per night right now, we got 2 weeks. You could still sell nearly another 17,000 per night if you slash the ticket prices and you do something over the next 2 SmackDowns and 2 Raws that really, really kick some of these major stories into such a high gear that people cannot ignore it. And they go, I have to be there.
Yeah, like bringing in Pat McAfee. No, I'm just kidding.
No, unfortunately, I think they would have probably sold at least another couple thousand units if Rhea wasn't injured and Rhea was on the card. Look, the top 5 biggest stars in their company, and I've said this before, I will say it again. The top 5 biggest stars in WWE right now are Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. We'll reverse that. CM Punk, actually reverse it. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley, then Seth Rollins. Those are the biggest stars in the industry right now. And then right behind them, you've got Oba and Brock. And people go, well, Brock should be in the top. Brock is nowhere near the draw that Roman and Cody are. He just isn't. He's exciting to watch, but you know what to get out of a Brock match, so no one's paying to see the same formula for 14 years. But when it comes down to it, if Rhea was there, they'd probably move another 3,000 units per night because the simps, but also the little girls who love Rhea, and she's the world champion. We need more star power on this card that people want to see, but I think we need some crazy ass angle in one of these stories to up this ante so big. Like, I think if they had announced that this is Brock's retirement match and just said it, they'd move several. That's when Brock's a draw. Because now people are going to go, oh, it's Brock's last ever match? This could be his retirement match? I have to be there to see this. I've been watching Brock for 4 years. I have to be there. And it'll be the people with the FOMO that are going to go like, I don't want to miss out on his last ever, in-ring match. And then you move a few thousand more. They still could. But I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't do it now. Like, do it next, if anything, do it next Monday. You've only got 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns left. You need to fucking do something. You have about 17,000 tickets left per each night that you need to fucking move.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with SummerSlam. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be good. The next thing, well, speaking of stars and speaking of SummerSlam, it looks like we're going to get another return, the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. So not really before SummerSlam to hype up that show. But, the fallout of SummerSlam, there was a video package that I honestly didn't see because I looked away for like 30 seconds. And apparently they played a video package for Big Cass to return. And that seems to be what's been buzzing around right now in the WWE. But the crazy thing about that is no Enzo Amore. At least they haven't played anything that's saying they're both coming back. For right now, it seems like it's just going to be Big Cass. I wanted to bring this up because we didn't really get into that during our Monday Night Raw review because there was so much other stuff that we had to cover. So yeah, man, how are you feeling? I mean, we saw Baron Corbin come back on Friday Night SmackDown. Looks like we're getting Big Cass to come back. How are you feeling about that announcement, Blood? And the fact that they haven't said anything about Enzo?
Shout out to Dwayne Cashman in the comments, friend of the channel and independent professional wrestler. New interview with Dwayne Cashman up about 2 weeks ago on our Apple and Spotify. Go check that out. But when it comes to Cass, I'm going to sound like an asshole here. I'm going to say what everybody's thinking. No one cares about Cass without Enzo. I'm just going to say it. They were always better as a team. When they split them up, it went to the shits. Their breakup story started off really good where people were really interested, really cared about Enzo, and then they shit the fucking bed on everything and then tried to turn Cass into some... I'm trying to remember what the fuck the gimmick was. They pit him against Daniel Bryan. It was a whole thing. But look, Cass, good big man in the ring, but he has none of the personality without Enzo. To me, it's kind of like Matt and Jeff Hardy. Everybody loves the Hardy Boys, but everybody will tell you Jeff Hardy's their favorite. We all love Matt, but we love Matt more when he's with Jeff. We like Cass. We love him with Enzo. There's just that, it's like a peanut butter and jelly situation. It was always great in TNA when the Dudleys split up and, Bubba Ray was a heel and Devon was a face. But man, when they get back together, it's the best act that they could put on. It's just the same thing here, man. Like, I don't know how you go about going, let's get Big Cass back because he was never a draw. So, I don't know what we just sacrificed contract restructurings with Sheamus and the New Day because we were being assholes and greedy. But the money that we saved not re-signing their contracts, let's sign Big Cass. And it's what about Enzo? And someone in the comments said there's a rumor that Enzo might be going to NXT. But it's like, why? He was in NXT years ago with Cass. He's done the developmental. He doesn't need the developmental. But also, I don't know if Enzo's still banned from WWE, because remember, when he got fired, he was showing up and going into business for himself at WWE events and buying tickets and trying to get himself seen on live TV and shit when he was already fired from the company, and they banned him from all WWE shows. So I don't know if they've let that go, but it's like, I mean, it was before the Triple H regime, but I don't give, and all respect to Big Cass, I don't care about watching Big Cass if he's not there with Enzo. If I'm not hearing, I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this is Big Cass, and he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach. Like, if you're not giving me the whole shtick, I don't give a fuck. I'll be on my phone.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at things from the other side too, because there's a lot of people that felt that same way about Enzo. Like, oh, Enzo, he was never really that good in the ring. Yes, he can talk, but no one really cared about Enzo without Big Cass. And me, from the very limited amount of time that I was able to see Big Cass, Big Bill in AEW, he's gotten in a lot better shape. He looks really good. He's cleaned up his act. He's healthy. And now he's coming over to the WWE, right? Which we've seen a lot of people that come from AEW to WWE that they really shine in WWE, like people like Penta. You know, Ethan Page is doing great. Ricky Saints, I think, is doing phenomenal as well. You know, Jade Cargill's being presented and pushed in a completely different way, in its own WWE way. So I think this new version of Big Cass by himself as a singles competitor with a WWE presentation, I think they can build up a fucking monster star in Big Cass in the year of 2026. But also, I'm not putting it like I don't want to see Enzo and Big Cass together in the WWE again, but we've seen them do this before. The WWE, now, speaking of the Lucha Brothers, when Penta and Rey came in, everyone thought we're going to see the Lucha Brothers together, but that hasn't happened. They've been singles competitors. Penta's he's an Intercontinental Champion. He's winning all these matches. We don't know when we're going to see the Lucha Brothers together yet. Maybe this year. I don't know. It's been a while. But I also wouldn't be against, let's see what they can do separately and make the people wait for Enzo and Big Cass to come together in one big moment.
I disagree with you, only because, one, Enzo was a mediocre to okay wrestler at best. Cass did majority of the wrestling. Enzo did most of the bumping. Because he can sell, and he can wrestle, but he doesn't move like Cass. He's nowhere near as athletic as Cass. They knew how to cover for the other's weaknesses. That's like how Jeff Hardy is not a great wrestler. He's great at spots, and he's great at the drama, and he's great at selling, and he's great at making you believe in him. Matt was always the better wrestler, but Matt didn't have the personality. Jeff had the personality. They make up for their weaknesses. With Enzo and Cass, it's different with the Lucha Brothers, right? Or the Lucha Bros, because you could argue Rey Fenix and Penta are actually maybe one of those few exceptions to the rule, like D-Generation X, that are better separate than they are when they are together. Like, DX was fun and great in the Attitude Era, and it was entertaining in the PG era, 2009 and 8 to 10. It was very entertaining. But they were not their best selves. Like, you see them together and they're losing to fucking R-Truth and The Miz. But then, half a year later, we're getting a 5-star classic between fucking Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker taking each other to the limit 2 years in a row. Come on. They're better separate. Enzo and Cass, they're much better together. I think separately, they don't tick any boxes that anybody genuinely cares about outside of, this one's a great talker and that one's got the look and size. But this one doesn't have the personality or the ability on the mic that the other one does. And this one's got the mic skills, but he's nowhere near as good in ring as this one. They do need each other to kind of complete that puzzle, because sometimes in pro wrestling, I'm sorry, You are always going to be a better talent sometimes when you're a part of a unit or a group. The New Day, who just got released, Kofi was great on his own. He's even more entertaining in the New Day. Xavier Woods was floundering and his career was dying when he was solo. Together with the New Day, he's a household name. No one's going to care about seeing Xavier Woods away from Kofi Kingston or Big E. They just aren't. No one liked it when Big E split off from them and went to become a champion. They hated it. And because they hated it so much, they still stuck them together on TV and reunited them after a couple of months because fans didn't like it.
So here's my thing too. You also got to remember something. How long ago was it when last time Enzo and Big Cass were in WWE?
It was before. It might have been before COVID when we still had 205 Live. And Enzo was the Cruiserweight champion and Neville was the heel in 205 Live. I want to say it was 2018, 2019.
Okay, so we're talking about
7 years, 7-8 years.
7-8 years. Okay, since then, they've grown, they've changed. Like I recently seen Enzo wrestle in Fourth Rope, which is West Side's promotion. He's also been in TNA. Since then, Enzo has gotten yoked. I'm pretty sure he's been working in the ring. And same thing on the other side. Like Big Cass went through a huge transformation. He's probably a lot better on the mic as well. So a lot has changed in 8 years, you know? So it's not the same Enzo and Big Cass that we saw in the WWE a long time ago.
And that's fine, but wrestling fans have a very long memory, very specific. There's a reason nostalgia works so well in pro wrestling. There's a reason that for the 20th time the Dudley Boys come back on WWE TV, the fans still piss their pants and tittle their winks whenever they hear, Devon, get the tables, because it just works. It's so simple and it's effective. And if it ain't fucking broke, you don't fix it. And shout out to Yellow Shoe Guy in the comments who says, Kofi is a household name? In what household? Hogan, Austin, maybe Cena are household names. Household name doesn't just mean you're some top crossover star. Kofi Kingston's face has been on live national television in over 130 countries since 2007.
Yeah, he's
he also is.
Yeah.
He's also on the face of a giant cereal brand that sells in malls, grocery stores, FYE. He's got action figures in Target, Walmart. He is a household name. He's literally in millions of people's household as merchandise items with his name on it. He's a household name.
Also, I want to give a quick shout out to GBG. Says, question for Blood. Ask away. Put your questions in the comments. Don't hesitate. Go for it, and I'll read it off.
This guy says, Thomas Lewis, no non-wrestling fan has ever heard of Kofi Kingston. Not true. My mom does not know a goddamn thing about wrestling. She's 73, and she's white as cream cheese on copy paper. I'm adopted. But the point is, she don't know shit about anything sports. She does know Kofi because she used to watch me watch wrestling with my friends 15, 20 years ago on pay-per-views and would walk in behind me to check in on us. And she'd go, oh, he's cool. Is he Jamaican? Oh, he's athletic. And then now she knows who Kofi is because she asked me a couple years ago, what are booty O's? That's kind of a weird, how do you market that? What's a booty O? I said, oh, it's a wrestler. She goes, is that Kofi guy, the Jamaican guy you liked in high school? My mom knows who he is. Like, you can know who they are because they're also not in WWE. They've been on TV shows. They're in commercials. I mean, you could say no wrestling fan knows who Jey Uso is. He's in the Cricket Wireless commercials. No one knows who Bianca Belair and LA Knight are. They're in Slim Jim commercials. Okay? Like, I mean, fucking, what's her name? Tiffany Stratton and Bronson Reed. They're on, what's that internet service? The really shit one. Xfinity commercials. Those are national commercials. They're not even WWE. Like, plus, you know who they are.
Not to mention all the extracurricular activities, events that they do outside the WWE. They do a lot of outreach
charities.
stuff.
charities, golf. The Miz is in a national golf tournament right now.
Yeah.
Like, he just sunk a hole in one like 2 days ago. That went viral.
Well, they do a lot of those like baseball games where they do like they throw the first pitch and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, they're like tax commercials. Shout out to ABC's. There's tax commercials where Stephanie Vaquer and Penta are singing a musical while they do their taxes. National, like, people know who these people are. You see a commercial 20 times, kind of hard to forget. Like, guess what, man? 20 years later, I still know the 25 years later, I still know the jingle to Moon Shoes, Moon Shoes. Some shit just stays with you. You just know who people are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it's going to be exciting to see what they do with Big Cass. Man, it's sounding like they're going to give Big Cass a solos run, which I think would be great because he's a monster, man. Like, I feel like WWE is missing big guys like that. The only one that really comes to mind right now is Tala Tonga, and it's like...
I think, honestly, WWE has plenty of big guys. That's where I disagree. In fact, I think the big guy thing is starting to get played out in WWE. I mean, we've got, big guys, right? You've got, you got Tala Tonga, yes. You have Big Cass if he comes back. But there's guys like...
Omos is in AAA. He's not in the main roster.
True, but he's still signed to WWE. What's a big guy to you? Because in WWE, in pro wrestling, a small guy is still considered 6'2", 6'3". That's considered a small guy.
I'm thinking like Tala Tonga and Omos. What other guys
Drew
in the
McIntyre.
WWE do we have like that?
Drew McIntyre's like 6'6". Like...
but he's not presented like as a big guy like Tala Tonga or Omos is.
Okay. Oba Femi's like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Oba Femi,
he's like 6'5", I think. Logan Paul's like 6'4". What is a big guy? Are you talking like giants?
Yeah.
Or are you talking big guys?
Like presented as a giant again, like Tala Tonga and Omos.
Oh, well then, yeah, but I think it depends, right? Because we're so far past that where the athleticism has dwarfed the showman's aspect of, the 90s, early 2000s, late 80s wrestling, where it was all about being a body guy and the mass. Like, those guys aren't durable in pro wrestling because half of them can't move correctly after a few years. Like, it took Braun Strowman forever to get the hang of this. Khali never got the fucking hang of this. Big Show was an athletic freak doing drop kicks in WCW off the top rope. He's one of the few that stand out. But it's very rare that you get a giant that you can do a lot beyond just punch and kick and toss with, to where unless you get their character over in a way that the fans really gravitate to, they very quickly stop caring. Like Andre the Giant was a freak of nature, so he was alluring. The Big Show at the beginning, freak of nature. Then they turned him to a comedy gimmick. Kane was insanely scary, so he was great. Undertaker, scary, presented great. But when you get to Khali, and he can barely fucking move, you don't want all those giants in a land of pure athleticism in modern day, because there's nothing you can do with them. Tala Tonga is barely more mobile than the Great Khali.
But that's what I'm saying. Big Cass, because he's gone through this like transformation. He's in phenomenal shape. He can be presented as a giant, but also he can move. And I want to give a quick shout out to Will Chisholm 379. Says, I bet they have him, I'm guessing he's referring to Big Cass, be in a program with Oba after SummerSlam. Well, that's a good prediction. Now, I want to bring that up. If and when Big Cass returns, besides Oba Femi or a Tala Tonga, who are some names that you would like to see Big Cass face as a singles competitor?
I respect Big Cass, and I don't want to shit on anybody's career at all. Okay, look, I'm one of the boys, or I used to be. I feel like when you're one of the boys, you never stop being. But as a former pro wrestler, I don't like shitting on other pro wrestlers. I really don't, because I know what the business is like. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. I know it hurts every fucking day. And when I look at Big Cass, I don't see a big star. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to say something that's going to sound really mean, and it's not meant to, because I do have respect for him. I look at Big Cass and I see a guy that is he's going to be a great foil for a smaller guy. He's going to be a great guy that you put a guy with that needs to overcome him. I see Big Cass feuding with the Dragon Lees of the world. Maybe a Rey Mysterio. Oh, let's put Penta up against him for a while. Let's throw him on SmackDown and give Sami Zayn a few months or a few weeks of headache. I don't see him in a main event with Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or CM Punk. I don't see him I see him getting, I mean, for fuck's sakes, if they make him a babyface, I see him getting fed to Braun Breaker. Like, I don't look at Big Cass and go, WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, Big Cass versus the Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. It's never, I mean, in WWE 2K26, sure. On a premium live event, on a mega PLE, no. I see him being mid to upper mid card for at least the first year he's in the company, until they somehow figure out a way to fuck him up, or it's not working, or attitude, or his drinking problems, or anything that got him fired the first time. If that rears its ugly head and he shoots himself in the foot, or the ultimate, most honest way this goes wrong, WWE fucks him up because they don't know how to write him into anything other than mid-card shit. Look, I mean, you have Tala Tonga, right? What's he done for a year? No personality, never cuts a promo. I don't think I've ever heard his voice, okay? And he stands behind Solo or Tama, and he does nothing but kick some ass and then gets his ass kicked. Like, that's all he does, and he's been here a year. A year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm hopeful, dude. I'm hopeful because Big Cass has the fact that he's been in the WWE before. People are going to recognize him, and a lot of people haven't seen him in a long time. So I'm hoping that
I think he gets a monster pop.
Well, yeah. Not only that,
I think he gets a monster pop.
Yeah, but not only that, but you know, he comes in, and I hope he comes in strong, and I hope that they put him in something meaningful, because I do believe that, because again, I've seen Big Cass and I've seen what he was doing in AEW, and it kind of felt like, oh man, he could be so much better in AEW. So I'm hoping the WWE sees that, or saw that, like, damn, like we could do a lot of great things with him now, and I hope that's what happens, but we'll see.
Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried they're going to bring Cass out. The fans are going to be happy to see him, the ones that are still going to remember him, because WWE's priced out a lot of the real fan in favor of the casual fan. And I genuinely think that it's going to take all of 30 to 45 seconds, and the crowd are going to be waiting and waiting, and they're going to start chanting, Enzo, 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 Enzo. And it's going to completely, in my opinion, deflate Big Cass's moment on returning. Because the fans are going to think, because they see Big Cass, they expect Enzo. They expect it. If you're a wrestling fan and you watch the independents and you see their stuff on TikTok, they're together a lot of the time. Fans expect it. So if he comes out and Cass and Enzo's not with him, I think fans automatically lose interest. I genuinely do. Unless you have him debut and he just mollywop beats the ever-loving piss out of Roman Reigns, or on Monday Night Raw, or debuts on Obafemi during his fucking blackout part of the entrance where he's doing this in the ring, and just this big-ass figure jumps from behind, stomps the shit out of him, puts him on the table, beats his fucking ass down. I don't think you do anything short of that, fans forget about him in a week. He becomes he becomes a returning Rusev.
Right,
no one cares.
We'll see what happens with that. I disagree 1,000%, but I'm hopeful.
I've seen it too many fucking times before.
I did see your question though, GBG. I'm gonna save it until the very end because it's a little off topic, but I still want to read it to Mr. Blood for you. Because we have one more topic to cover. Did you see the update? Ludwig Kaiser finally spoke out about his version about what happened in the incident, the elevator incident with that random person that was like
being rude to his girlfriend.
Yeah. Did you see what his version of that was?
I did not have a chance to read the article, unfortunately, so this will be a completely fresh reaction for me.
Okay, so I'm going to read it. It's a few paragraphs long, but I'm just going to break it down into different parts, and I'm going to let you jump in and tell me what you think. So he started off, this was from, so the battery case against Ludwig Kaiser, and this is his side of the story. The elevator stopped at the 12th floor where Mr. Reap exited, and as he exited, Mr. Reap made loud comments to Mr. Barthel, who is Ludwig Kaiser, and his girlfriend to the effect of have some effing respect. Apparently, Mr. Reap was offended by Mr. Barthel and his girlfriend hugging while in the elevator. Mr. Barthel leaned out of the elevator to ask Mr. Reap what he said as he was confused by the statement. Mr. Reap then made a statement to the effect of have some respect before I call ice on that bitch. Sorry. That's not funny. Mr. Barthel's girlfriend is of Mexican descent.
Okay, first immediate thought. Again, I thought it was hinky from the start of this story. Ludwig is not only a national, television, like millions of people know exactly who he is. They know him as El Grande. They know him as Ludwig behind Gunther for years. They know who he is. He's a public figure. He's also in the States on a work visa. I do not see him jeopardizing himself with that visa, his ability to work in this country or in Mexico with AAA, being their biggest fucking star down there, by the way, jeopardizing that over a guy just saying, because the guy tried to say, oh, we'll have some respect. And then he says Ludwig punched him. Bullshit. Ain't no way I believe that someone just telling him have some respect would automatically cultivate getting decked in the face. Because that's how the guy originally told the story. I told him have some respect and he hit me and he proceeded to beat me. You think that guy's risking his entire livelihood, his visa, his ability to work in this country and getting deported by committing a fucking felony because you told him to have some respect? Yeah, I always knew there was more to this story. And I had a feeling it had something to do with race, because that was brought up very early on when there were rumors before Ludwig even got to tell his side of the story that this guy had apparently said something racist to Ludwig's girlfriend. And now we're starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, and also that other guy's version, Mr. Reap or whatever his name is, more like Mr. Creep, he kind of made it sound like Ludwig Kaiser was out there like being a belligerent drunk, and he was like this crazy, outraged, out of control person, which, come to find out, it's not really true.
Like, look, man, PDA makes me uncomfortable. I don't even like holding my wife's hand in public. I don't like kissing in public. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's a personal thing for me. I've never liked it. I've never enjoyed it. It has forever been something I've never done with any girlfriend. I just don't like it. I don't like that kind of attention, and I don't like thinking that I'm making other people uncomfortable, so I don't do it. But other people, they're in the moment and they're in the honeymoon phase of life in their relationship, and everything is coming up roses. He's making tons of money. He's a big star, and now this beautiful woman is in love with him, and everything is nice, and he's just overcome with the I don't think that's disrespectful, because you're not asking the guy to stare at you. You were already there. It's just, I don't know, man. People are fucking Karens, bro.
Well, the statement continues. Mr. Barthel exited the elevator and confronted Mr. Reap, verbally telling him his statements were offensive and inappropriate. Mr. Barthel, again Ludwig Kaiser, did not threaten or touch Mr. Reap at that point. Mr. Reap then came toward Mr. Barthel aggressively, raising his hands and getting very close to him. Mr. Barthel, in fear that Mr. Reap was going to batter him, pushed Mr. Reap away.
See, now we're getting into the part of the story that sounds more likely and more realistic. Again, I do not believe Ludwig Kaiser. I have heard him talk in interviews over the years. I've heard him speak with Chris Van Vliet. The guy is extremely articulate and very intelligent. And I do not believe, and I've heard other wrestlers talk about him, including Gunther, who is his best friend and bailed him out, by the way, when he had to turn himself in and everything. And Gunther's the one who paid his bail. Like, he's very well spoken of as being highly intelligent and very nice and one of the nicest guys out. I do not buy he jeopardizes his entire life because a guy tells him, show some respect. No, I fully believe that the guy advanced toward him. Now, whether or not he was going to hit him or not doesn't matter. Ludwig felt threatened because if you step in my bubble and you're already angry with me, I'm going to automatically assume we have a problem. I'm from Florida, okay? Open carry, no permit, conceal here. We stay strapped here. So if you walk at me with an issue and you're already angry before you come toward me, I automatically am trained living here to assume we've got a fucking problem. So I'm on Ludwig's side with this one. If you come at me, yeah, you're in my fucking space, bro. Hey, step the fuck off. The fuck you want? Get out of my fucking face.
Yeah. The story continues. We got a couple more paragraphs here, but I think it's worth mentioning. Mr. Barthel walked back into the elevator where his girlfriend was standing. Mr. Reap then approached the elevator in a threatening manner. Mr. Barthel stepped out of the elevator and told Mr. Reap to leave them alone. Mr. Reap walked away briefly and came back toward the elevator again in a threatening manner. Mr. Barthel was concerned that Mr. Reap would physically attack him or his girlfriend, so he pushed him away and returned to the elevator.
Again, yeah, I'm still on Ludwig's side here. I tried to create distance. You walk away, now you've come back. Now, I've told you this before. I used to be a licensed security officer in the state for Universal Studios. Hundreds of thousands of people. But when you get licensed in this state, we are trained as licensed security, armed and unarmed, that I am not allowed to physically touch you unless you are a perceived threat. I'm not protected under the statute 493 code unless you physically come into a way where I feel threatened. I cannot touch you. If you walk away, I'm no longer in danger. But the moment he came back, I was back in perceived danger. Again, I create distance, I shove you, I step back in the elevator. I'm on Ludwig's side.
Mr. Reap then threw a soft drink bottle at Mr. Barthel. Mr. Barthel did not retaliate. Rather, he remained in the elevator, pushed the button for his floor, and left the area.
Okay, at that point, Ludwig's better than me. He's much more patient man than me. If you threw some shit at my head in front of my girl, that's assault in Florida, by the way. In Florida, we have stand your ground law. So if you threw that at me in Florida, homie, I am legally allowed to pew, 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 pew. So as far as I'm concerned, Ludwig exercised restraint where I definitely wouldn't have. You throw some shit at my fucking head. What if it was harder and you hit me in the eye? You blinded me. You crack my orbital socket. What if it's a full bottle? You break my fucking nose. It doesn't take much. What if you miss and you hit my girl? Now I'm really going to beat your ass. So, yeah.
And the statement closes with, in this altercation, Mr. Barthel pushed Mr. Reap only after Mr. Reap had approached Mr. Barthel aggressively and threatened him. Mr. Barthel pushed Mr. Reap to stop his continuing approach and attack. Mr. Barthel then entered the elevator where his girlfriend remained and left the area.
I'm really hoping that there's security cameras to back up Ludwig here. I really hope there is. Because as far as I'm concerned, you cannot claim to be assaulted when you're the one who keeps reinstigating. Ludwig is trying to end the altercation. He's trying to walk away. He's doing the smart thing. He's on a work visa. He's a public figure where this could get out and jeopardize his contract and tarnish his public image, but also look bad and reflect on WWE. He's thinking about protecting his own livelihood and his investment and getting his girlfriend to a safer location while this guy is being belligerent. I completely understand Ludwig because I've been in this situation when I went to Virginia a couple years ago and I was walking my wife to a vape shop and this guy walked up, asked me if I had money. And I said, hey, I'm here on a work trip. I don't carry cash. And this guy looks at me and goes, well, there's an ATM right there. And then proceeded to push me like mentally, didn't physically touch me, but push my buttons and make me look like less of a man in front of my wife, like I was broke. And then he got in my space and I shoved him. And I was going to push his ass into the street in traffic, but I couldn't physically get into an altercation because my wife, not getting the fucking hints, was standing a foot off my side. And I was afraid if I swung or he swung, she'd get hit. And I had to sit there and keep trying to walk away with my tail between my legs because I didn't want my wife to get hurt. It sucks as a man, but you got to do the right thing. You have to protect your girlfriend, your wife, whatever. You cannot be the reason she gets hurt. He keeps trying to get her out of the situation. This asshole keeps pressing. Completely understand. I was literally in that situation 3 years ago in Richmond, Virginia. Completely understand.
Well, yeah, that's the latest that came out of the this battery case that they're trying to stick good old Ludwig Kaiser with, but I don't think it will. But yeah, like you said, hopefully there's more footage.
I hope there's hallway cameras. I hope there's a hall camera. I hope there's more camera in the elevator footage that shows this guy coming back and back and back. The moment we see footage of the water bottle being thrown, that guy's whole argument's out the window because the judge is going to go, that was assault, but also that was reinstigation. Like if Ludwig's inside the elevator and you're now outside, there is now the ability where a door can close between you. And now, instead of allowing the door to close between you to end the altercation, you then throw an object back into the elevator. You're reinstigating the situation.
Yeah. That
automatically throws your, I was assaulted bullshit out the window because now Ludwig has something to back himself up with. Yeah. I tried to withdraw. You then proceeded to throw something at my head.
Yeah.
Now we're back in an altercation.
Yeah. Well, right on. I want to thank everyone that hung out with us through this hour of our weekly one-on-one on TikTok Live with myself and Mr. Bludd here in Snug Wrestling. But before we get out of here, I promised GBG I would read off their question that they have for you, Mr. Bludd. And they want to know if you can help them with this little predicament. They say, I'm thinking of stepping back in the ring. What is the best way to present my new gimmick is their question.
That's a great question. Well, first off, there's a couple of different avenues you can go with this. You can build up the gimmick on social media before stepping in, get a little buzz around yourself. Try to make those posts as local as possible. So whatever promotions you're working for, the surrounding areas who might venture to these same shows every week, see your character, then recognize you on any of the match cards that they might post up outside the grocery store or on the bowling alley or whatever. But also, it's also the digital age, right? Where you can promote yourself better than any company ever could. You just got to get yourself out there and entering into a ring or into a promotion with a new gimmick. It's going to always take time to get over because the audience is new to the gimmick. They don't know what it is. They're trying to figure out what it's about. And sometimes it takes a while to click. But in my opinion, and I haven't, the last match I wrestled was in 2018, but over in Orlando, and I believe in wrestling. But my advice would be, if you're trying to get out there with a new gimmick, the internet age is probably your best friend because no one is going to be able to promote you faster, quicker, and on more free time than you yourself. So I would recommend maybe creating a page for your new gimmick, a TikTok, a Twitter, an Instagram, and just post in gimmick. Show people what you're about. Digitally make your own vignettes for yourself. Get people talking and then tag the location of whatever promotion or city you're going to be in along with the promotion you're going to be wrestling with. Just keep doing that. I think that would probably be the best way in my opinion.
Well, there you go. That's some free tips right there for you. I hope that's helpful. I'll tell you what was helpful. This episode
before we go, hold on. Shout out to Obscuraco.media. Please do the Raymond Reddington impression. I see, I'm begging you. I love watching those videos. Well, hey, I got no problem making your day there, Obscuraco. So I'll do the outro as Raymond Reddington.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for tuning in every single week. If you like hanging out with us, you can do it every Monday night after Raw goes off the air for live post-show reviews at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central. Then on Wednesday nights, where we do our NXT post-show reviews at the exact same times. And then, of course, here every Thursday night on TikTok Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Central. And then on Sundays, we do our SmackDown post-show reviews. But we won't be doing it this week. We'll be reviewing Saturday night's main event this Sunday at those exact same allotted times. So until next time, friends, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug.